That reminds me of early Tool. Perfect soundtrack to kick things off, everybody. That guy, wow. He's a little modded out. Well, we are going to talk about something that's been requested last couple of weeks. People have been asking me to show off my build. I did the build video at the very beginning, which kind of showcased this is what I'm building. I'm going to be building a Netrunner tech stealth build. I've now finished the Phantom Liberty DLC, and it's time to actually talk about my build a little bit more. So I guess you could consider this to be like my version of an ultimate beginner's guide to my Netrunner build. But the crazy thing about Cyberpunk 2077 is there's so many different ways that you can spec your character. I really don't want, if you're a new player, if you're someone who's new to this game, I don't want you to feel like you're going to get bogged down in possibilities, because the possibilities are endless and you can choose to spec a lot of different ways and play the game however you want. I'm rambling here, but intelligence, you've got all these abilities in this tree that you can go through. Then you get into the relic tree, which is Phantom Liberty specific, but there's the body tree, there's the reflexes tree, neither one of which I have gone down. There's the tech tree, of which I've taken a few abilities. There's the cool tree, which I'm currently working towards maxing. I need 2 more points to max that out, and then I'll continue perk building here. But as you can see, the primary area that I've spent my points is in intelligence. I am primarily a Netrunner with a little helping of tech and stealth on the back end. And I kind of want to talk about how I've made my build work for me. So this is like the ultimate beginner's guide to a Netrunner who uses smart weapons, who also leverages tech and a little bit of cool to do some stealth on the side. I have no idea what that's going to be called. I don't know what this video will be called long term, but this is the build that I'm working with, and I want to show you guys what this looks like. Also, my character, for those of you who want to know what he looks like, I've been getting jokes and I just love it because it's hilarious. So we're gonna continue to call this the Cyberpunk bookie. It's the hat, guys. It's totally the hat that does this for him. But I love the jacket. Basically, I looked at Takamura's jacket and said, I want a jacket that looks like that. And they got some pretty cool boots too. So anyway, I'm 3 minutes in. We haven't even actually talked about the build yet, so let's get into this. By the way, if you're a first-time viewer, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all those good things. I am playing Cyberpunk 2077 full playthrough with this, even though I've already finished the DLC. I want to see what the full ending looks like. We're also doing like Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield, and in the month of October, we're getting ready to do Lamplighters League, Forza Motorsport, Jusou, some other stuff I'm forgetting off the top of my head, Gotham Knights, and then we've got Rogue Trader Alpha leading up to the launch of that. So we do all sorts of stuff. Check out the playlists, check out the podcasts, check out the streams daily happening at 11 a.m. Central Time. The Discord links are down below. Without further ado, let's get into my build. So if you're going at this from the beginner's standpoint and you've never played the game before, the most important thing to understand is that however you want to play the game, you can. You are not required to take net running at all if you want to play this game. My first playthrough when this game first came out a few years ago was purely cool with tech ability in the background. I didn't worry about really anything other than maybe 4 or 5 things in the intelligence tree for net running. You could also go body and reflexes if you want to go melee. There's lots of crazy ways to spec your characters in this game. Now, I wanted to do net running in the 2.0 update and through Phantom Liberty because of all the new quick hacks they added, and I was not disappointed. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with the net running, but remember that playing a net runner and playing a build like this means a lot of time spent during combat actually pausing the combat, if that makes sense, because you'll look at somebody like this, you have to, come into combat essentially and say, this isn't somebody I could do anything with, but is there any enemies around here? I can do it on a car. So here's the quick hack menu. You're going to be doing a lot of your time in fights is going to be doing this. You're going to be, middle of a fight, lots of stuff happening, enemies, boom, lock on, and now you have to hold, at least for me on the Xbox, you're holding this while you're going through and selecting what you want to control. So that is something where it's not as fast paced as just a straight up shooter build or a straight up melee build, because you're going to be spending a lot of your time actually pausing the game essentially to go do your quick hacks. Now, I chose to go smart weapons. And let's talk a little bit about how you can go through this. So, some of the first things you're going to take when you first get going, the most important thing to understand is that if we look at, say, the body line, when you first start off, your tree is going to look like this. You're not going to have any points spent anywhere. And you're going to notice that if you look behind my head, it says to get this rank unlocked, we need 4 points. So you need a minimum of 4 to start that first rank. And over on the far right, you're going to notice it says rookie. So all of these abilities that are in the rookie line aren't unlocked unless you have 4 stats. Now, when you've created your character, you'll have at least access to that first tier. But then beyond that, if you want additional tiers like the pro tier, the phenom tier, the legend tier, you have to unlock those additional tiers by spending points, your attribute points, in this tree. So if we back out real quick, I've now ranked up intelligence to rank 20, which is max. I've taken technical to rank 20. I'm currently working my way up through cool, which is currently at rank 18. Now, so when I first started off, the very first thing I did is, as soon as you could put points into things, there's a few things that you want immediately right away in my mind. The optimization is key because that gives you a 35% RAM recovery rate. And if you know that you're going to be doing vehicle combat, you will eventually want car hacker. But here's the thing. I don't recommend taking car hacker in the early stages of the game because of the fact that you don't even get, if you're playing from scratch. Now this is depending on if you're playing from scratch or if you're jumping right into Phantom Liberty. If you're jumping right into Phantom Liberty, you're going to want to take the car hacker ability. If you're starting from scratch, you can hold off on car hacker until you've got to level 10 or so, because you're not going to even get access to vehicles with like combat and stuff until later on. But I would argue that you're not even going to be getting into vehicle combat that much unless you really want to go out of your way to do that. So that's one that you can put off long term, but you will eventually want it if you're going to be doing hacking. Some of the things you're really wanting to shoot for here, in my mind, leveling all the way up to the spillover is the most important thing. So this core line up through the middle, these are the ones that are the most important to your character as a Netrunner. Optimization gives you 35% RAM recovery rate. Embedded exploit gives you additional RAM recovery rate and quick hack damage against enemies affected by control quick hacks, covert quick hacks, or distract enemies quick hacks. Then you get overclock, which is additional RAM recovery rate plus quick hack damage plus unlocks overclock mode. And if you have a Cyberdeck installed, you can hit the 2 bumper pads to activate. And in this mode, you use quick hacks even if you don't have RAM, but it takes some of your health instead, which is really fun. And eventually you get to overclock spillover, which means when overclock is active, you get a 50% chance for your quick hacks to spread on to additional targets, which is really cool. So if you can, go up that line as quickly as possible, but also pay attention to things like going over here and saying eye in the sky. I liked this one because it automatically highlighted nearby cameras. That's a very important thing for me. The hack queue, I would say take hack queue as soon as you can. This is one of the most important things you can get because it allows you to unlock quick hack queues, allowing 2 quick hacks on a single enemy, and then queued hit quick hacks automatically upload in the order that they're added. 30% upload speed for the second quick hack in the queue, and you can rank that up twice. Take it as quickly as you can. And then associated with that is counter a hack. It says when you're target of an enemy Netrunner, you can quick hack them back through walls and obstacles. It's great because you can essentially see them outlined through the wall, and then you can choose to hack them back. Take it immediately. And then copy paste so that when you're a target of an enemy Netrunner, using a quick hack against them will also spread the effect to their allies. This is a great counter move, which is really cool. And then of course, Q acceleration is important to get those additional max RAM, quick hack queue size, RAM cost, and a 60% upload speed for quick hacks third or later in the queue. And then eventually you get up to queue mastery, which gives you an additional quick hack queue size. And then the last quick hack to fill a queue has a 50% RAM, minus 50% RAM cost, and locks the queue until all quick hacks are uploaded. But then you get a 50% to 15% damage against enemies with a locked queue. So these are some important things to think about. Now, along the way, I went to Power Surge, which instantly restores health equal to 5 times your max RAM. And of course, also Speculation, which anytime you neutralize an enemy with a combat quick hack, you get 25% of that RAM back. Now, I'm only level 43. I'm not max level yet, so this is the way I spec going through the Phantom Liberty DLC. Now, I'm going to be continuing to play this character. This is the beginner's guide. So eventually I will be doing the advanced, max tier guide once I've maxed this character out. Something that was very important for me that is optional for those of you who are doing Netrunner builds, because not everyone who's a Netrunner is going to want to use smart weapons. If you're also going down the tech tree, which you might be, you may choose to use tech weapons instead. I chose to use smart weapons. Now, because of that, the intelligence tree has a whole line of abilities related to smart weapons, and you'll notice these are on the far right here, this tree over here, and I have maxed out all of those because I use smart weapons. So right away, you get into acquisition specialist, a larger target reticle, and reloading your weapons no longer interrupts the target lock. Then no escape. Shooting the target resets the target lock. Precision subroutines, you get 2% accuracy for each unit in your Cyberdeck's max RAM, which is great. And eventually you get this Bridger, which is recirculation, which gives you +2 RAM after neutralizing an enemy with a smart weapon. So between I prefer to end enemies with smart weapons as often as I can because I get that. And it says if the enemy is affected by quick hacks, you restore an additional RAM equal to 50% of the total RAM cost. So just as long as you've got as long as you've got hacks queued on a mob and stacked on top of him, then you take him out with a smart weapon, you're going to get a bunch of that RAM back, which is really great. Then you get into the target lock transfer. This is very important. Larger target reticle. And if you're firing from the hip, it doesn't disengage target lock. So you don't actually have to hold the trigger to, focus fire. And then switching from one smart weapon to another no longer interrupts target lock. So you can immediately switch between your smart pistol, your smart rifle, your smart sniper, your smart shot, whatever. You can cycle through your smart weapons and it doesn't lose target lock, which is really huge. And this is another one here. Enables multiple target locks when aiming and increases the number of simultaneous targets for all smart weapons by 1. So some of your weapons, as an example, we'll take a look at that here in a minute, but some of your weapons already can lock on to targets, and that allows them to lock on to even more. And then this is additional bonuses for terminal velocity, and then eventually you can get smart synergy, which means that when your overclock is active, your smart weapons instantly target lock and do an additional 25% damage if the target is affected by a quick hack. So the best strategy here is when you go into a combat scenario is you literally do like something like Contagion, which does an AoE quick hack across all these targets, and then while they're under the influence of Contagion, you could do a target lock on 4 or 5 targets and start firing your smart weapons, and it's going to hit all of them and do 25% additional damage. So it's really cool to blend these two together. I'll go into tech tree here in a minute because I actually want to talk about the weapons that I'm using. So I have, for right now, and then this may change, but this was the Ogu is a tier 5 iconic smart pistol that I got from the Phantom Liberty DLC, if I'm not mistaken. Fires a burst of 2 explosive rounds. Hits have a higher chance of dismemberment. Each dismemberment increases crit chance and a chance to apply bleeding. This is a fully automatic smart pistol. So you hold the trigger and it just keeps firing until the clip is down and then it reloads. And it's got target locking and explosive rounds and all sorts of crazy stuff. So it does 2 targets. It initially did 1 target. Now it does 2 because of the quick hack thing that I mentioned earlier in my smart tree. I can do an additional target. My submachine gun, this is the prototype Shingen Mark V, which is actually in the base game. This is in the Arasaka, it's in Japantown in the Arasaka warehouse. There's a I don't remember the crate number, but there's a container that you can find this prototype weapon in. It fires explosive rounds, which is great. Up to 3 targets while aiming, but then you get a 4th because of the stuff we added in our smart tree with the smart weapons. So this is a weapon that I bring out when I'm surrounded by lots of mobs and I need to do a ton of damage quickly. And now it does not have complete automatic fire. It's burst fire, so you're pulling the trigger to do bursts. But this is highly, highly potent for big groups of mobs because you're locking onto 4 targets, and it's a great way to just blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of fun. I probably can't show off. I might get yelled at by the police for doing this. So that's that gun. By the way, who's shooting at me? It's a civilian, so we're going to run away here. We'll switch to my other gun, just to show you what this looks like. Quick commercial break, everyone, to give a shout out to our first official guild officer, Bubalonia, as well as all of the guild champions, and of course, all of the members who help keep me on the air full time. To join as a member, simply click that join button below and pick your tier, but you can also support with SuperChats on any live stream or premiere, or SuperThanks on any upload or YouTube short. Don't forget the Discord. Let's get back to the video. It's burst, like so. Let me run away. Go down into the afterlife real quick. I think we might be okay in here. I think. In the meantime, let's go back to the tech tree, because obviously it's not just about being a Netrunner. I also took tech stuff. Now, in the tech tree, I've taken fewer things in the tech tree than I did Netrunner, but I did focus on Gearhead because that gave me 33% vehicle health, and vehicle-mounted weapons receive 24% damage, which is great. But I went straight up the line here, because what you really want out of this is go up straight up the line, because you get additional cyber deck stuff. So the main ones here are things like where is it at here? It's not, yeah, level 3 of license to Chrome, you get a new cyberware slot for the skeleton, which is very important. And then Edge Runner allows you to exceed your cyberware capacity by up to 50 points at the cost of max health, which is very important. And then somewhere in here, I gotta find it real quick. I have it taken here, and I don't remember which one it was. Well, I guess we'll look at it here in a bit. All things cyber, you get cyber stat modifiers. This one gives you cyber capacity. This one gives you all cyber gains an additional stat modifier. 25% crafting components from looting. That was like the first thing I took as soon as I could. It was a lucky day because I really like crafting, so I wanted all the stat stuff. This is a really important one. 15% duration for cyberware effects. And then ambidextrous, which I just took recently. I haven't actually slotted a second item yet into my hands. And then cyborg, which gives me 50% reduced cooldown for cyberware if all available cyberware slots are filled. Now, if we go back into my cyberware area and we look at over here on the left, Renaissance Punk. Where was the Renaissance Punk one? Because I know that was one that I took. And I don't remember where it was. Or maybe I haven't unlocked that one yet. Oh, here it was. Renaissance Punk. Yeah, that was one we already looked at. But a few of these, like if you're looking at how to increase your cyberware, you're going to want to definitely get Edge Runner and Renaissance Punk because it bumps your cyberware capacity up. Now, of course, your cyberware capacity is also mandated by your level to some degree, as well as cyberware capacity shards. So it's not completely dependent on leveling up the tech tree, but some of it is. So if you're planning on using a lot of cyberware, which you probably should, you're probably going to want to go into the tech line to get the most out of this because you get a lot of bonuses by going into the tech tree that way. But again, it's not entirely necessary. You don't have to do it because you're still going to be able to use all the cyberware. It's just you get additional bonuses from this stuff. And I could still, like I haven't built different because I don't need it yet. Then we can get into, like if I was going tech weapons, this might be good, but I'm not going tech weapons. So really, I've kind of gotten everything I want out of here. I'll probably end up taking this one at some point, Chrome Constitution, because it gives me negative damage, but I'm not really important to me right now. And then updating, I'm probably going to eventually get this so I can update all my stuff to like T5 and beyond. But ultimately, the other one is cool. Now, stealth for me was not a huge thing out of the gate because, and here's why. Before I even get into the cool tree for my stealth stuff, if we go into my cyberware, you're going to notice that a lot of my cyberware mods that I've chosen to install are actually stealth mods. So like the Newton module, stealth damage. Ram upgrade, that's a little different. This one's bonus stealth damage. My arms is bonus stealth damage. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Bonus stealth damage. Decreased enemy vision. Bonus stealth damage. Decreased enemy vision. Decreased enemy vision. Bonus stealth damage. Bonus stealth damage. So you can get all sorts of bonuses. You can buy whatever you want in terms of cyberware, right? And then upgrade them and get the stats that you want. But I've chosen to put a lot of stealth mods on in my cyberware, even though I wasn't primarily running a stealth build, which allowed me to basically the way I treat most encounters. If you've watched any of my live streams, you may have seen this. I start off in stealth. Let's go in here where there's a little better music. I don't want to hear commercials. All right, so I will choose to sneak around like so, do as much as I can early on in any given encounter with stealth, but basically just go until I get caught. I'm not trying to do ultimate stealth where I'm always stealthing the entire way through a mission or the entire way through a dungeon. I prefer to say just go in and stealth as much as I can, but then if for some reason my stealth gets busted, who cares? I've got my net running abilities and my all my boosts from my hacks and my smart weapons and everything else to back me up. But as I've been going through the Phantom Liberty DLC, which I have finished now, I have been putting all of my additional points into the cool tree because I've maxed out my intelligence and my tech trees. So now I'm working on this one. And the most important to me was right away was getting feline footwork, which is enhanced movement speed while you're sneaking, and then blind spot, which makes the higher your mitigation chance, the longer it takes for him to detect you. I also went over here and did Killer Instinct, which gave me 25% bonus to silenced guns outside of combat, which is great for the sneak attacks and headshots to try to take enemies down with one shot, one kill, or two shots if you're trying to go quick. And then, of course, as soon as I got to Ninjutsu, I leveled that up and maxed it out because it was the enhanced movement speed while crouching, plus mitigation chance, and the ability to sprint while crouching, which is really freaking awesome. Now, I haven't finalized this tree yet, and this is what'll happen when I get to the max level and I've maxed my character out. I will eventually do an advanced build which shows how I've fully spec'd this character out, because eventually I will be taking more of this stuff. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be taking yet. More than likely, I'm just going to keep doing like the stealth-based stuff, so Creeping Death, Shinobi Sprint, things of that nature, Serpentine. I'll probably get Unexposed and Small Target. So there are definitely more things I'm going to buy in the cool tree. But for the most part, that's the last thing I'm doing right now. And then, of course, there's a few more things that I want here. But these are some of the things that I think are necessary to get the most out of your build as a beginner as you're leveling up. So hopefully, what this has done, hopefully, is provided you with some type of a build guide, an ultimate beginner's guide to creating a Netrunner with smart weapons, a little bit of tech background, and some stealth in the background to get the most out of your playthrough. Again, this is not the only way to play. This is the way that I played. If you want to see the combat in action, go watch my Phantom Liberty DLC session. There was 5 streams that I did from that. We're playing this build. And, of course, we have upcoming videos and streams for this character. So, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Hit us up at Discord. Links are down below. See you in the next, everybody. Until then, stay safe. Happy gaming, chooms.